everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let me start with something uncomfortable. There is a moment in some relationships when a woman starts needing you far more than she is willing to admit. And strangely, that is the exact moment she may begin acting like she doesn't need you at all. If you have ever felt confused by her mixed signals, by the distance that suddenly appeared even though her feelings seemed strong, then listen carefully. Before we begin, take a second to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It helps this community grow, and it helps more men understand the psychology most people never talk about. Now here is the truth most men misunderstand. When a woman begins to rely on you emotionally, something powerful happens inside her mind. Dependency triggers vulnerability, and vulnerability, especially when it feels intense, can quietly scare her. Many women are taught, both socially and emotionally, that needing someone too much is dangerous. It feels like losing control. It feels like giving someone the power to hurt you. So when that emotional dependency grows, the mind often reacts with defense mechanisms. She may suddenly become colder, less responsive, less expressive. Sometimes she even creates distance that was never there before. And this is where many men panic. You think she is losing interest. You think she is pulling away because her feelings disappeared. But what you may actually be witnessing is something very different. Her feelings may be getting deeper, not weaker. Psychologically, people protect themselves from emotional exposure. When someone begins to matter too much, the brain tries to regain balance by pretending the connection is smaller than it really is. That is why she might say things like, she wants space, or act more independent than she used to. But if you observe closely, you will notice contradictions. Small signs that reveal something she is trying very hard to hide. She might still watch everything you do. She might still react emotionally when your attention shifts somewhere else. She might pretend she is distant, yet somehow remain deeply aware of your presence. These contradictions are not accidents. They are signals of internal conflict. Part of her wants to stay close to you. Another part is afraid of how much she needs that closeness. And the more powerful that emotional need becomes, the more carefully she may try to disguise it. One of the clearest psychological patterns appears when a woman starts protecting her independence more aggressively than usual. This often confuses men. You notice she values your presence, she enjoys your conversations, she feels comfortable around you. But suddenly she begins emphasizing how independent she is. She might say things like, she doesn't rely on anyone. She might highlight how busy she is. She might reduce how often she reaches out first. But independence statements are not always about independence. Sometimes they are about reassurance. When emotional attachment becomes strong, the mind searches for ways to maintain a sense of personal control. A woman who feels she is beginning to need you may unconsciously start reinforcing the idea that she could walk away if she had to. Not because she wants to leave, but because she wants to prove to herself that she still could. This is an internal balancing act between connection and self-protection. Here is the psychological detail most men overlook. When someone truly does not care, they rarely feel the need to prove their independence. They simply live their life without explanation. But when someone repeatedly reminds you how little they need anyone, it often means they are trying to convince themselves as much as they are trying to convince you. This is where emotional signals become subtle. She may pull away slightly, yet still respond when you create distance. She may act casual, yet become noticeably attentive when another woman enters your environment. She may behave as if nothing affects her, yet small changes in your attention still shift her mood. These emotional reactions reveal something deeper than words. Need is rarely expressed directly when pride and vulnerability are involved. Instead, it leaks through behavior. You might see it in the way she watches your reactions, the way she remembers details you casually mentioned weeks ago, the way her tone changes when she senses you drifting away. A woman who truly feels nothing does not invest that level of attention. But when a woman begins needing you emotionally, attention becomes automatic. Her mind starts tracking your presence almost without effort, and the more she senses that dependency forming, the more she may attempt to disguise it behind calm, confident distance. Not because she wants you gone, but because she is learning how much power your presence has over her emotions. Now let's talk about what most men completely miss. The subtle test she puts you through when she needs you too much. These aren't conscious games, not in the manipulative sense. These are unconscious checks, ways her mind measures whether you can handle the intensity of her emotions. When she begins needing you, her fear of vulnerability spikes. And fear does something powerful. It triggers caution. Suddenly, small disagreements feel bigger. Small delays in communication feel like rejection. Moments where you are unavailable trigger her mind to question, can he truly be there for me when I need him most? She might appear indifferent when you initiate contact. She might respond late or with short messages. At first, it feels like she's pulling away. But look closer. If she never ignores you completely, if she always returns, if she reacts when your attention drifts elsewhere, that is a hidden signal of need. This is a critical moment for you. Many men misinterpret this behavior as a lack of interest, and they react by withdrawing emotionally themselves. That only reinforces her fear and can push her into a cycle of even more guarded behavior. But when you understand the psychology, you see the truth. She is walking a tightrope between need and self-preservation, between desire and fear. Here's the key. Women need reassurance, but not in the form of over-asking or chasing. They need someone who can recognize their signals, even when masked in indifference. A man who can remain steady, emotionally strong and observant becomes the anchor she secretly craves. Observe her patterns carefully. Notice how she reacts when you are unavailable versus when another man shows interest. Notice the micro-expressions, quick smiles, lingering glances, subtle changes in tone. These are the hidden markers of her emotional reliance. When she starts needing you too much, expect contradictions. Expect moments where she seems distant one day and intensely connected the next. That inconsistency is not randomness. It's the reflection of her internal struggle, her mind trying to reconcile deep attachment with the fear of dependency. If you can understand and navigate this, you gain insight most men never see. You stop reacting to surface-level behavior and start seeing the emotional architecture underneath, the invisible patterns that reveal how much she truly needs you. This is the power of psychological awareness in relationships, recognizing the need behind the mask and responding with patience, confidence, and quiet understanding. That is how a man becomes irreplaceable, not by chasing, not by pleading, but by understanding her hidden emotional world. Here's a truth very few men are ready to accept. When a woman needs you too much, she is also terrified of losing herself in you. This fear doesn't mean she loves you less. It often means she loves you more than she is comfortable admitting. Her need creates a paradox. She wants closeness, but the intensity makes her feel exposed, vulnerable, and at times, unsafe. Many men interpret her occasional withdrawal as disinterest, as if the emotional pendulum swings because she is unsure about you. But the pendulum isn't about you, it's about her own internal conflict. She is trying to protect her heart, trying to maintain autonomy while simultaneously craving the security of your presence. And this internal struggle is exhausting for her, even if she doesn't voice it. You might notice moments where she seems unusually distant, yet she notices every little thing about you, the way you speak, your moods, the subtle gestures you don't even realize she sees. These observations aren't casual, they are markers of deep emotional attunement. She is tracking you, even when she pretends not to care, because her mind is wired to protect what she values most. This is where most men fail. They respond to the mask, not the reality underneath. She might act aloof, she might make statements about being independent, but the truth is in her reactions, in the way her attention sharpens when you are near, or how quickly she notices your absence. These are the telltale signs of someone who needs you, even when she pretends she doesn't. The key for you is presence without pressure. Your steadiness becomes a mirror to her own emotional state. By remaining calm, consistent, and observant, you give her subconscious mind a safe space to process her feelings. You allow her to need you without fear of judgment or rejection. This is not about manipulation, it's about understanding the psychological dynamics at play. Understand this. When a woman acts like she doesn't need you while secretly needing you intensely, it's her way of testing the limits of her trust, her attachment, and her fear of vulnerability. She's exploring whether she can rely on you without losing control of herself. And every small action you take, every moment of patience, every display of quiet confidence shapes how she experiences that need. If you can navigate this with awareness and respect, you transform a potentially confusing, tense dynamic into a powerful connection where her emotional reliance becomes a source of intimacy, not conflict. This is the hidden code most men never see. Most men see only surface behavior. You now see what lies beneath, the raw, often unspoken truth of her need, fear, and attachment. Now let's dive into the part most men completely miss: how her need manifests in subtle behaviors that are almost invisible unless you know what to look for. These are not grand gestures. They are tiny, almost imperceptible signals that reveal the depth of her reliance on you. Signals she often works hard to hide because she doesn't want to seem clingy or vulnerable. Notice how she mirrors your actions. If you laugh, she smiles almost at the same moment. If you shift your mood, she adapts hers to match. This is not coincidence, it's subconscious attunement. Her brain is wired to tune into the people she depends on emotionally, and when you are that person, it becomes automatic. Watch how she subtly seeks validation. She might phrase things casually, asking for your opinion on choices that seem trivial, yet these are tests of your attention, your consistency, your care. When she feels secure in your presence, she relaxes. When she senses emotional distance, even slightly, her mind becomes restless, and she may overcompensate with words or actions that suggest independence. Pay attention to her reactions around others. A woman who is emotionally invested in you cannot hide the impact of your attention, or the lack of it. She may act neutral, even confident in social settings, yet you'll catch micro-expressions, a slight glance, a flicker of concern, the way she subtly measures how your attention is distributed. These are the silent proofs of need she can't fully mask. Here's another psychological insight. Her internal conflict between needing you and fearing dependency often leads to small, confusing contradictions. She might pull away after an intimate conversation or act aloof after a moment of closeness. These aren't signs of disinterest. They are her mind trying to regulate the intensity of her own feelings. She wants to stay close, but her subconscious fears the vulnerability that comes with that closeness. And this is where most men fail. They respond to the contradiction with frustration or by distancing themselves, unknowingly confirming her fears. But a man who understands sees the pattern. He recognizes that the need is genuine, that the distancing is protective, not punitive. Your role is simple, yet profound. Stay present without pressure, observe without judgment, and respond with calm awareness. Let her need exist without labeling it, without trying to fix it. She doesn't need rescuing. She needs someone who can hold steady while her mind sorts through the storm of attachment and fear. When you do this, the dynamic shifts. The tension, the mixed signals, they no longer confuse you. You start to see the truth beneath the surface. Her need is real, and your stability allows it to flourish safely. You become not just someone she wants, but someone she trusts completely with the parts of herself she can't show to anyone else. Finally, let's confront the reality that most men never fully grasp. When a woman needs you too much but acts like she doesn't, it's not a reflection of weakness. It's a reflection of how deeply she values you. Her mind is wired to protect her heart, and when emotions become intense, fear disguises itself as indifference. This is her way of testing the foundation of your presence in her life. You might feel frustrated, confused, or even rejected by her behavior. You might catch yourself thinking, if she really needed me, she wouldn't act this way. But that is exactly the trap most men fall into. Surface behavior is almost never the truth when it comes to deep emotional need. The truth is hidden in subtleties. Moments she laughs a little too hard at your jokes, pauses a beat when you leave, or notices things about you that no one else sees. Here's what separates a man who understands from a man who doesn't. Awareness. A man who sees past the mask recognizes that her independence statements, her casual aloofness, and her brief withdrawals are not rejections. They are shields. They are her subconscious way of testing whether you can remain steady in the face of her emotional intensity. And your response shapes everything. If you overreact, chase, or pull away, you reinforce her fear of dependency. If you remain calm, confident, and consistent, you validate her need without smothering it. You show her that she can rely on you without losing herself, and that trust is more powerful than any verbal assurance. Understand this: need is not weakness. It is the raw, unspoken truth of connection. The more she secretly needs you, the more she measures your reliability, your strength, and your emotional presence. And if you navigate this correctly, you become irreplaceable. Not because she can't find someone else, but because you are the one who can hold the paradox of her heart without breaking it. When she finally relaxes, when she stops hiding her feelings behind pride and fear, what you witness is the depth of attachment most men never experience. She becomes present, attentive, and emotionally open, not because she has to, but because she can trust you fully. That trust is the ultimate proof of her need, the confirmation of what she feels when she pretends she doesn't. So remember this: the mask of indifference is never the absence of need. It is a sign of fear, of emotional intensity, and of a heart that has learned to protect itself. Your task as a man is simple, yet rare. Recognize it, respect it, and respond with unwavering presence. That is how you turn her hidden need into a connection that is unshakable, profound, and unforgettable.